Hello boys, this is White Pill Media and welcome back to the channel. This week we are talking about Deus Ex. This is an old game. It came out in 2000 and I played it for the first time just now. I finished it I guess last week. Hell of an experience. It is called like one of the greatest PC games ever made. It deserves that title. This was great. I really recommend playing it spoiler free. That's what I did. I knew it had to deal with like a lot of conspiracy theories and that type of thing. So I did know that, but I knew nothing else going in, and I had a really good time. It is dated in some ways in terms of graphics, voice acting, some of like the gameplay stuff. It's not great. It's not super fluid. I didn't really have a lot of crashes. I think it crashed once just early on. And there are some parts that kind of bugged out. But besides all that, I had a really good time with it. So what is this video? This video is just going to be me talking about the game. I'm just going to kind of run through the levels, give my thoughts on it. So Deus Ex, it's a cyberpunk role-playing game. You're set in the mid-21st century. There's a lot of different groups vying for power and control over the world. You work for UNATCO, which is supposed to be this anti-terrorist group. It's dark. It has a really interesting plot and storyline. You do get to make some choices along the way, but towards the end of the game, you get to make your big choices, so you're not really locked out of any decisions at the end of the game based on your earlier choices. But the choices at the end are still like interesting and cool. They're very different from each other. It's endings that don't feel like Mass Effect. You see some gameplay going on in the background. That is awesome. I'm so thrilled for you. I'm a fucking retard. The thing with older games, and I'm just not very bright, you can tell. If you've watched more than one video on this channel, you can tell I'm not very bright. But I was trying to record some gameplay like when I was starting to play the game with Deus Ex, and none of my like recording software was picking it up. It would get the audio, but it would just record a black screen. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have display capture on and everything. It's not working. I saw some people suggest like, try OBS. So I tried OBS. Same thing, except like OBS would capture the gameplay in like a very small box in the top left corner. And I had no idea why. And then it said, actually, you can capture the game if you just go into windowed mode. So I did that for Deus Ex. And everything was going twice as fast. Like I would press W, I would shoot across the room. All dialogue would run twice as fast. It was kind of funny, but also unplayable. So that wasn't working.
I figured you'd be sick of drills by now. Open the door by clicking. The key on the desk opens encryption-based nanotech. Going to get a lot of equipment.
I had no gameplay recording. I beat the entire game with no gameplay recording. What are you watching right now? So it turns out it's like a super fucking easy fix for older games with OBS. If you just go into like settings and then you go into video and then you switch the thing at the top to whatever like the game is supposed to be. You switch like both those things for like your screen and the recording. So you can like find out what the resolution is by just going to whatever old game, going in the settings, and they'll tell you the resolution. You get those numbers, you plug them into OBS, and then it records it perfectly, and you're still playing on like a full screen. So I don't know why that doesn't quite just automatically do that, but hey, it turns out it's an incredibly easy solution, and I'm just fucking retarded. I'm going to have spoilers for the entire game. I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't. Otherwise, we're pressing on. So the gameplay footage in the background is from the intro sequence. I just went through that again. And also of the last mission, Area 51, with me just going through the 3 endings. Originally, I just went with the Tong ending, and I'll talk more about the endings when I get there. I felt that ending had the best in terms of like for humanity, but that's the gameplay footage. I did debate just going back through like previous saves and just recording a bit like of each level, but I don't know, I didn't do that. But going forward, I now know how to do it for older games. It's really simple. I should have figured this out much earlier. But it sucks, man. Whenever you go online, it's like, I can't record old footage in OBS. Can anyone help? And this is like a bunch of super unhelpful shit. And then just on YouTube, it was a video of not a lot of views. It's like how to record very old games in OBS. And it fucking worked. It took like 3 minutes for me to do. So, super gay. That's a long explanation. Mission 1. We're JC Dutton. We have a cool trench coat. We wear sunglasses at night. Lighting is something I will bitch about for this game. I know it's part of the atmosphere. I know it's part of the setting. But there are parts where I'm like, this is too fucking dark. I can't see my hand in front of my face. This is ridiculous. Even when I'm like in an apartment building or something, and I'm like, I should have better visibility than this. We're with UNATCO. Liberty Island has been attacked by some terrorists. We meet our brother Paul Denton, and these guys, based on the introduction, are fighting like the second American Revolution for them. You have skill points. It's an RPG. Some of the skills are kind of not great. Like, I never really put any points into like swimming or really computer, or I did a little for medicine. But like environmental training, that sucks. Lockpicking and electronics. I'll tell you right now, if you do pick up this game, 100% do this. But if you're lockpicking something and you press like F1 or any menu option as you're lockpicking, if something takes like 6 lockpicks to get into, it takes 1 lockpick to get into. You just have to wait like 10 seconds or so. And then when you come back out of that menu, the door's open or the thing is hacked, whatever. It's kind of cool. I did use that exploit quite a bit because I felt like here's a locked door, here's a thing. If I don't open it, I'm going to miss out on like story stuff or world building. So I did do that very early on. Yeah, whatever. I don't regret it. I would do it again. 100% I would do it again. That's a nice little exploit you can use. You have guns. You can do like stealth. I think the stealth is okay. It's not great, but you have guns like pistol, sniper rifle, assault rifle, shotgun. There's like rocket launchers. And since it's like cyberpunk, you can have augmentations in your body. I'll get into that a little more later on. And there are like robots and stuff. It kind of looks like RoboCop robots, and like RoboCop, you have like the big thing on the 2 legs. You have some robots running around that look like that, but you're going around Liberty Island, you're taking people out. I thought this was fine. I think some people have some complaints with it, just like because of the level design and whatever. Maybe it feels a little boxy, but I think this was a fine opening level. I was worried, since it is such an older game, it's like 24 years old, it would just be like such a pain in the ass to play, but I actually thought it was pretty easy to get into. Yeah, maybe it's a little jank here and there, but I think it worked out fairly well. When you do die, you get this cool spin out death scene, and you can drink from water fountains for 1 point of health every time you get a drink. So I did spam that. However, water fountains can run out of water, which sucks, but oh well. You can also like, there's food, there's soy food, which that's great. You can also like find 40s. You can get like, and if you drink a shit ton of 40s, you can get really drunk and your screen goes all blurry and hazy. That's fucking great. Just chugging 40s to regain health and then whipping out a pistol, go shoot some terrorists. That was awesome. I tried to like hack this ATM. I did find a code to it later, but the ATM was now broken because I tried to break into it too many times, so that was really gay. And while you and your brother Paul have nano-augs, you're like the new generation of soldier, basically. There's the people with older augmentations like Gunther and Anna Navarre, and they have like mechanical augs, and they really don't blend in with human society. They're kind of second-class citizens. And they look really cool. I think Gunther and Anna look great. And there's like a bit of conflict going on where they're the old models and they're being phased out as you and Paul are being raised up through the ranks. I did spend a lot longer on this level that I should have. Like, I knew I had to keep going up, but when you get up to like the statue and everything, it's really fucking dark, and I could not find the staircase that went up. I knew I had to go up, but it was so dark that I just kept walking past it over and over and over again. It sucked. But you meet like the terrorist guy at the top, and he's talking about the government making a plague to curb population growth. The whole consolidation talk is great. Talks about how many Americans used to own small businesses then compared to now, how much taxes like the rich used to pay then compared to now. You can draw some comparisons to today, but there's prosperity and security and safety for the super wealthy. But for the rest of the country who's just trying to get by, things like rights and freedoms and protection has gone out the window, and they're just trying to survive day to day. Yeah, it's very cyberpunk. Oh, and when you get done with the mission, turns out on Liberty Island that this is also where our UNATCO HQ is. So you go do that, and it's nice. It's just like you walk around like the offices and stuff down there. I did get told off for going into the ladies' room. I wasn't expecting that. I was just exploring, but whatever. I really wish I was showing you footage of this as I played, because there's like good moments and stuff and like funny death scenes, but I'm just a retard, and I just wasn't willing to like play the entire game again just to record it again. So yeah, sorry about that. I don't have like the footage to go right alongside it. Battery Park, we have some guys that have taken over a little fort, and then you have a little bum town, and then some terrorists in the subway station. For the subway, I was in the ceiling grates, and I was shooting a bunch of people from up there. It took me a few tries, because one of the tries, like I didn't get all the guys. One of the guys has like a fucking flamethrower. If you get hit by a flamethrower, just reload the last save. Save scum. I save scum a lot in this game, but you take so much fucking damage when you get hit by a flamethrower, which makes sense. But still, like, you're better off just restarting if you get hit by a flamethrower. So you have your inventory in the game, right? If you want to pick stuff up, it has to fit. So your inventory is divided into a grid made up of squares, and everything has to fit within that grid. So big things like rocket launchers and flamethrowers take up a shit ton of space, and then you just have to waste time moving shit up and down around your inventory trying to make it all fucking fit. I think that's gay. Once I understood that, it became more bearable, but I just don't like it. I wish it was just like a weight system or whatever, but not like your inventory is something that you have to play around with and manage like it's its own like little mini game almost. That was really annoying. But anyways, yeah, I gave a boy some soy food, so he's welcome. There was a homeless guy who's like dying of the Great Death. That's like the supposedly man-made disease that's going on. And he was like singing some patriotic song that was like sad, but good. And I kept just bouncing around. So like I cleared the subway, and then I went to New York, Hell's Kitchen. There was this whore who was being attacked by a pimp in an alleyway. I saved her by killing the pimp. For some reason, cops turned on me. I had to put down 2 fucking cops, but I did so, and whatever, there's that. Apparently the whore I saved is named Sandra, and her dad runs the Ton Hotel, and it's sad if you go there. Like, there's this big portrait of Sandra, like, in his little office, and you're like, what the hell happened? I don't think there's, like, too much story with them, but, you know, it's there. I like the little bar you had to go to. At the bar, there's this helicopter pilot. It's Jock. He used to be at Area 51. He says something's going on there. At the medical clinic, there was this old bum who says, "Who will help the widow's son?" Says, "Sorry, I thought you were someone else." It made me think, is he talking about Paul? And then like, if so, that's fucking awesome. That was at the free clinic. Docs won't work on you until you've paid up. Very awesome system. There's spam email about like the government helping you kill yourself. This is like cyberpunk dystopia shit that they're writing in the 2000s, and we have Canada trying to get like veterans to commit suicide in today. So it's like it's a little fucked up. It's a little fucked up. There's a lot to explore in Hell's Kitchen. Like the first time I went, like there's Paul, his apartment in the Town Hotel. There's the Underworld Tavern. There's the smuggler and his den. I did save the smuggler's friend, and apparently it's like a glitch or a bug or whatever, but the smuggler's friend is supposed to be back at the smuggler's hideout. He never showed up. Whatever. One thing I kind of regret is that like when the game ended, I had like 4,000 credits left, And during like every mission, you're going to come across like at least one NPC who offers to sell you stuff. Some of these are like weapon mods that you can put on your guns. And on the first mission, it's like, hey, do you want a scope for your sniper rifle? And I'm like, 2,000 credits? That's a shit ton of money. I can't afford that. I feel like I should have been a little less choosy with my money, and I should have spent more on like upgrades as I went, just because it just makes your guns a bit better, right? So you do have skill points. Like if you explore areas, you get skill points. When you complete missions and secondary quests, you can get skill points. All your skills that I said before, I went pistol first, and then I went into like shotgun, sniper rifle, assault rifle skills, and then heavy weapons at the very end. But yeah, I had a couple points in medicine, lockpicking, which on a second playthrough, I had put 0 in lockpicking or electronic hacking because there's no point. You can just use one of the little gizmos per lock. I think that exploit's worth it. Fuck wasting points for lockpicking in multi-tool. And this is really cool, and I'm just kind of retarded, but you can also like pick up fire extinguishers in the game. And in the smuggler's den, he has like this laser wall. So if you go through it and you're not on good terms with him yet, he has a little robot that comes out and just guns you down. But if you use the fire extinguisher, ooh, it gets rid of the lasers for a few seconds, then you can go through. That was super cool. I was very impressed with that. And then you're supposed to like go to this warehouse where the terrorists are and like take out their building and everything. But I did all that. There's no way for you to get back up. Like you had to go down some fire escapes and everything, and then the only way like out of that area of the level, because that's where the level ends, is you have to go back to the start of that area. But to go back there, you have to go up fire escapes, and I couldn't make the jump. I don't know if it was possible, so I did have to enable the fly cheat to do it. Now I was really worried that I like corrupted my game and everything, but I'm like, I'm fucking stuck here. I don't know what to do. How the fuck do I get out of here? But I did fly, and then I wasn't able to turn fly off, but when I exited the game and came back in, fly was gone, so everything was fine. But then I went to just explore the rest of the level, so I would recommend, if you play this, go do everything you want to do first, and then go do the final level assault, go the rooftop bit at the end. Do that last. I wish I had the direct quote for this, but I wrote down that JC says to someone, maybe you should have a little more respect for the United States government. That's good. JC has a lot of good, like just deadpan lines. They're great. He's a really cool character. Like it's pitch black, night, indoors. He's wearing sunglasses. He looks really fucking cool. The Matrix came out in like 1999. This came out in 2000. I think obviously, or maybe not obviously because games are in development for a few years, but it seems like maybe there's a little inspiration, a little crossover there, perhaps. The game had a lot of kind of pop culture references. I thought these were to okay. Like I know there was one email I got that is a reference to Harley Quinn. It's just like Harleen Quinzel like sent the email, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess. But sometimes when you walk past computers, it's like Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars. It has the little like droid sound on Hoth, right? It makes that sound when you walk past some computers while in the game, and I'm like, I dislike this. I kind of dislike all pop culture references, and this doesn't really, it didn't really work for me. Probably more, and I just feel like they're always a little like, your game has its own style, it has its own memorable quotes and lines. You don't have to fill it with like references to other stuff. You're doing a good enough job on your own, you know, to make it memorable. It's kind of like when other movies put in like the Wilhelm scream from Star Wars, when that guy gets thrown into like the pit with like the sandworm monster, whatever. It always stands out. It's always annoying. It's always like, huh? Get it? Star Wars? It's like, fucking stop. Don't use that. I fell down an elevator shaft at the smugglers. I didn't die, but it loaded me at the very bottom of it. And at the end of the level, I was just like going around talking to NPCs and everything, making sure I did everything. And I'd spent a lot of time on each level, which is good because you have so many different ways of approach. Like, you can do stealthier options. You can go in guns blazing. I went in guns blazing a lot. But just different avenues, like coming through the source or going through this door or this window or do this or that. You have so many different gameplay options, and it's very unique. It caters to a lot of different play styles, and that was really fun. Since I didn't really want to miss a bunch of stuff, I ended up just looking at everything. So I would go like, oh, let me explore the whole stealth route. Okay, cool. Let me explore the other way. So it was a bit slow at first. I thought this video was going to come out a few weeks ago, but it took a lot longer to get this done than I thought. When I walked into the underworld bar at the end, Shay, the bartender, and Jock just were hostile to me. I have no clue why. They just had guns out and they were shooting, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I just got out of there. And Jojo did not appear. I think he was supposed to appear in the game, like after I killed that one pimp or guy, and then Jojo was going to show up, but that didn't happen. Jojo did show up later on, but I think there's supposed to be another interaction here, but yeah, it didn't work. I'm a retard who fired a rocket launcher, and then the rocket launcher disappeared, and I thought it was a glitch, but it was like one of those one-time use rocket launchers, not like the rocket launcher that sticks around. I'm just dumb. But when you go back to Liberty Island, this was really fucking cool, but you go back there, and they're the two guys in the black suits and the robot voices, and they tell you to go inside and go get your orders. That was really cool. And we've been chasing the cure for the Grey Death this whole time. Paul gets sent to Hong Kong because he lost the shipment. There's a government guy talking to prisoners. We're told to go away because he's interrogating terrorists. And then we're back in Battery Park. We're talking to homeless people. We're looking for cure. We get sent to like where the moles live, and these are people that live in like the subway systems. So we're like in the subway systems, and there are terrorists, and this is fine. Got a drug dealer. My game did crash here, which was fun. I had to restart the entire thing, but it did not happen again. It just happened once and never again. Don't know why. And there's a little puzzle here to get into a secret room. Like you're supposed to pull this one brick, and then it'll reveal a secret hideout. I had to look it up. It's just too dark, man. It's way too dark in this game at times where it's like, I cannot fucking see this thing. Overall, I would say maybe I dislike robot sections the most, like with the cameras and the automatic turrets and everything like that. It just really slows it all down. But I guess like if you kind of like the little stop and go stealth gameplay, you might have enjoyed that a little more. I am really fucking stupid, and you can like shift through ammo for your guns. Most of your guns have like 2 sets of ammo. Your assault rifle has normal like 7.62, I'm not really a gun guy, ammo, and it also has like grenade launcher ammo. I did not realize my assault rifle had grenade launcher ammo until I was in Area 51. And the grenade launcher is great at blowing up automatic turrets, cameras, bots, like the spider things. Those suck. So I'm just really fucking stupid, and I made the game a lot harder for myself than I had to. That was, yeah, great job. But we make our way to an Air Force base. We meet Paul. Paul reveals that he's with the NSF. Oh no. He says that there's a world government built by the wealthy. I can't tell from my notes, but someone says that we're a false creation. And you have a choice here, and it doesn't really affect the game at all, but it's just like a little choice for yourself, right? Like how you want to play, where you have to kill this guy at the end or have Anna Navarre kill him at the end. Paul ends up escaping, but we kill the guy that was with Paul, who was going to like take the cure out of there. We meet Walton Simmons again. He was the guy from last time who had the guys in the black suits and was interrogating those prisoners. He's the director of FEMA. What's FEMA doing here? And the coalition has activated the kill switch on Paul because we're nano-augs and we all have kill switches in us, which is super. Back in Hell's Kitchen, I found a basketball court that has always been there. It has always been there. But for me, this was the first time I found it. Isn't that fun? Oh, I went to the hotel and I helped Sandra's father kill JoJo. So the whore is reunited with her dad. I still love that huge painting of her. Like, that's just on his wall. That's great. And we are working with Paul. So we send a signal out. Walton Simmons knows immediately that we sent the signal. I thought I fucked something up. and there was a way to like not make Walton Simmons pissed off. No, this always happens. And you go back to find Paul in his apartment. There's a couple like cool scenes here. So you're in the apartment with Paul, and like the guys in black suits, like the creepy robot guys, break down the door and they come to kill you and Paul and arrest you. I like escaped the first time, but then I got shot outside. And then the second time, me and Paul made a stand, made our way out into like the hallway of the hotel, and then got in a gun battle in the lobby and lost. But when you die, you wake up in jail, and there's this really cool scene in jail with Anna Navarre. She comes to taunt you. But I decided to reload my save. I escaped through the subway system, and Anna Navarre was there to confront me down in the subway. I killed her. You can kill her there, which is really cool. But then when I went upstairs, Gunther immediately ended my life. I go to prison, and I decide to reload so Anna would be alive. Not that that really matters. But then we get contacted by someone called Daedalus, and Daedalus says that they are going to like deactivate the cameras so we can get out of our prison cell. So we're making our way out of prison. We are in an M112 facility, and we've lost our weapons and everything, so it's a real pain in the ass getting around. Also, like these little green monsters that hop around and spit radioactive waste, they're called greasels. Apparently mechs also have kill switches, but those are instant. Like Paul is dying, but it's taking him a while to die. The M112 place is right under UNATCO, so as we get through M112, we're now in UNATCO, and we have to go through these offices that we've gone through the first few missions. Anna has a kill phrase that is called Flatlander Woman, so when she confronts me at the entrance, I just give her kill phrase, and she just blows up. That's kind of funny. Sad in a way, but funny. And I fucked up because I didn't have like enough lockpicks or hacking materials or whatever, so there's like a canister that was either an AUG upgrade or just something that like gave me an AUG I could pick up, and I left that behind. And since you can't go back once you go into UNATCO from M112, it just got stuck back there. So that really blew. I told Anna to take her best shot, and then she instantly blew up. And then we board the chopper and we leave. We go to Hong Kong. Trapped in a hangar of Jock at first. The rocket launcher is insanely good. And Hong Kong, really big level. It's kind of like Hell's Kitchen, where there's just so much to do when you get there. All the little world building, like there's so much where you could just play the level and never see a bunch of things. Like there are the apartments, there's the casino, there's the nightclub, there's kind of some restaurants by the docks, there's the whole market, there's like the monastery, the compound, everything, right? It has a bunch of stuff here. Really great. And at the nightclub, I did like the woman at the booth.
Leather boots. For you, 25 credits admission.
Here you go.
Perfect. I order you to stand in the spotlight and growl at the women like a dog who needs a master. I see you in a corner, smoldering, hostile. Everyone will wonder who you are.
She's great. But if you go on the club, but you can pay to get some women in the club who are waiting outside. So I did pay for Mercedes. And then she's like, hey, can I have some money for a drink when we're in the club? And I'm like, yeah, babe, sure. So I gave her some money. She keeps asking for money for drinks. And I bought her a few drinks, boys. But only a few, only a few. I'm not a simp. There are also like some whores on the side that you can pay, and I think they just follow you around the club. I did not pay for that, just to be clear. And in Hong Kong, so we're like looking for Tracer Tong, who knows Paul, and this guy can help Paul like deactivate his kill switch and help us with like the Grey Death and everything. But there's also this triad war that's going on. And another like secret facility. Oh, and like in Hell's Kitchen, when I was in the sewers, it also led you to like this secret like little facility that I didn't know what the fuck it was. They were M12 too, so that was really cool. Like a little reveal before we get the big reveal of M12 and UNATCO. 4 women who are the same NPC, just copy pasted, and you can surround yourself with these 4 party girls and have them dance around you. I did do that. I won't lie. I did do that. China is apparently the last sovereign nation on the world, even though it's like kind of a corrupt shithole as well. It's at least more free than the rest of the planet. Maggie Chow is a bad woman. She has a secret base in her penthouse. Walton Simmons is her boss. And then we go into VersaLife, and VersaLife has this like huge hand like reaching for the earth statue, and that's not fucking ominous at all. I guess that's an Illuminati symbol. But, man, this level's fucking big with VersaLife. But you go down there, they're more like the secret agent guys to kill with the sunglasses. It's a big level. There are like alien corpses down there, bums locked in cages. Oh, and then when I went back, when I like solved the Triad War and everything, and I went back to the club, I didn't pay this bitch. I swear to God, I did not fucking pay this bitch. But like this girl named Ling started following me around the nightclub. I don't know how that happened or why, but like in Hell's Kitchen, you know, I started being shot at the Underworld Club for no fucking reason either, so maybe that was just a glitch too. We go back to New York. We're supposed to go to the shipyard. I kill like 1 million cops at the town hotel, like about 1 million cops around there. Vinny is a good guy. He's a bit simple. He likes Sandra, the whore. I guess he doesn't really know about her past. And then I was supposed to like meet this guy Dowd in like the burned out ruins of that one warehouse from the first time we went to New York. It was kind of like Liberty Island where I couldn't find the fucking stairs to go up. I could not find Dowd in these ruins, and I went to the ruins multiple times. And then I looked it up online, and there he was. It's just incredibly dark. It's incredibly dark. But I did find Dowd, and I talked to him. He directed us to the Naval Yard. He gives us some backstory because he was with the Illuminati, and M112 broke off from the Illuminati. They're a splinter group. They like, I guess you could call it like a little coup or some power play where M112 like dethroned the Illuminati, and now they're taking a more direct control of the Earth. And Dowd is sick with the Great Death, so I get some ambrosia for him on the naval ship. And we sink the ship, and yeah, I thought this is a pretty decent level. On to the Paris catacombs. I got this weird eyeball thing called Icarus that says it has full access to my systems, sometimes dataless. The thing that got me out of the M112 prison cell speaks to me, but then I have this weird little thing called Icarus talking to me. In this house, I get this weird call on the phone that says it will be all around me. In the Paris catacombs, they're all right. And then once you get onto the streets of Paris, you have a huge fight on the upper street, like a fuck ton of guards and dogs and robots. And I totally fucked myself, and you're really supposed to use stealth here, I feel like, because it took forever and so much save scumming to kill everything. But then once everything was dead, I could just walk around freely. And there's a bunch of shops. You get a lot of like audio messages in this game. Like Tracer Tongue's like, hey buddy, what's going on? Like constantly. I thought Tracer Tongue maybe talked a bit too much. Like it was okay. And I had some issue where like the fight music would not stop in Paris. I think probably because I would start combat, run away from combat, start combat, run away, and it just got glitched. But once I got into another fight and ended it, the fight music stopped, so it was fine. Got told to don't miss the chance to be one of us, create New World Order. There was Renault and Guy who are like drug dealers, and I went into the bakery to go get some bread, quote unquote, with some zyme. And Guy looked like the Guy Hawks from the Great Rebellion, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, you're just exploring the streets of Paris. I found Nicolette, and as you're leaving in the chopper, Gunther appears and almost catches the chopper. And Jacques said, like on the radio, that Gunther had visited the smuggler and killed the smuggler, so he's hot on our trail. We're at her chateau. There's this maze out back. We'll do something about that, of course. Daedalus pops up, not the scary Icarus guy, but Daedalus, so that's nice, and he's helpful to me. I went to the metro. There's like this repair bot behind some glass doors, so I smashed the glass to get in. No cops that were there minded, so that was cool. Very, very happy about that. And then you have to go to like this temple church. This took a while. There are a lot of guys around, but just take your time and it'll go okay. There are also a lot of like little staircases and hidden hallways and that crap, and I definitely got turned around many times, but I figured it out. And when you go to the basement, if you ever see one of those hologram projectors, you know there's about to be a fucking boss fight. Because I see the hologram projector, I go to the room, I get fucking jump scared by Gunther, who comes out from the side, and he's like, hey man, we're gonna fight. So he's a little fag, and it honestly wasn't much of a fight. I killed Gunther. He was trying to get revenge for Anna. I really did like Gunther and Anna, just like these poor guys that are like, they just mutilated their bodies to be like useful to the organization, and the organization doesn't give a fuck because they're the old tech and they're just being phased out. Maybe I wish there's like a little more with them, because I really liked them. I definitely can agree with like less being more, but they were cool. They were cool. But Gunther is dead. He was the last of the mechs. And we're talking with Morgan Everett from the Illuminati. He says that Icarus was an M112 AI. Bob Page speaks. He says we were a prototype for him with like the nano-augs and everything. Tong doesn't trust the Illuminati. Icarus says that they want to rule the world. So we go to Morgan Everett's home, and he's with the Illuminati. There's like this old Illuminati guy called Lucius who's kept cold, and he thinks that he's the leader, and Everett just kind of keeps him as like someone to bounce ideas off of. There's a prototype AI here called Morpheus who says we're not a real human, and he's just kind of creepy and weird, and he wants to control everything, but we're told to not worry about it, so we don't worry about it. Daedalus might be a rogue AI. And then as you're leaving, there's this odd mechanic and a dead mechanic on the ground. And if you go talk to Everett about it, turns out that this guy is like an imposter. So if you kill him and then speak to Jock, you can like stop a bomb that's on the helicopter from like activating later on. I think if you don't do this, Jock gets blown up at some point. So I saved Jock's life. Of course I did. After that, we got the Vandenberg Air Force Base. A lot of corridors with troops and cameras and turrets. And we're here because these guys are like scientists that are broken off from M112. They don't want to be a part of that. They have some morals, some decency, and they don't want to go through with all this like crazy, evil, control the world shit. And Sam Carter, who's a military guy, he's here. He was with UNATCO. Jaime Reyes, he joined Tong after I told him to get out. And there was also Alex, and Alex was like an IT guy, and he came along with me. So, yeah, they're all like decent characters. I would say they're kind of minor. Paul is like in the background after he got healed, and Tong also healed like our kill switch thing. But Paul like does not speak in the second half of the game. I'll talk more about that at the end, but Paul is just kind of gone. And like for like minor secondary characters, I think all these guys are fine. Like they do their job. I don't think every character needs like this huge character arc. I think character arcs are kind of like really overrated. And like Icarus and Daedalus merge into an AI called Helios, which is really creepy, and it has eyes and tentacles and things, and it's no longer like friendly. Bob Page gloats. He captured Tiffany, who is Savage's daughter, and Tong has also contracted the Grey Death. We go to a gas station. You have to take out a few guys in a slow crawl to go rescue Tiffany and not be an asshole and then trigger the alarm and have Tiffany get killed. So you have to take your time. So yeah, I wasn't super big fan of the gas station, but I saved the little bitch for if you care about that type of thing. The computers at the Vandenberg Air Force Base have been like destroyed or knocked out or whatever. So we have to go to the sub base to go get computer parts, which is fine. I would say like for this level, it's kind of like just like a straight shot unless you put points into swimming, which I did not do because I think you can bypass a lot of the level if you have like high swimming and just swim from one section and just skip a bunch of shit. I didn't do that. I tried it once. I didn't make it very far before drowning. So I just had to defeat a lot of enemies in these kind of slow corridors. You had some sections of this level that were flooded, and you have to swim through those or wade through the water. Really slow, really just like that. Oh well. We're here for like a universal constructor, and these can like build anything like organic life forms to anything. So these are incredible. It's like a super 3D printer, I guess. Bob Page talks about his plans to like combine the Universal Constructors, AI, and like himself to essentially become like a god. On the way back from this, jumped by Walton Simmons in a tunnel. This went okay. I killed him after a few tries. I would say having the like one upgrade that blows up like grenades and missiles being shot at you, that's helpful. Yeah, that's not so bad. But when you get back to the sub base, you have some guys like diver guys who have grenades. They just try like suicide rush you. I guess they're really desperate right now just to bring you down. That was funny. I killed them. And then you have to go to the missile silo because Bob Page, who is running M112, and he was Everett's protege. He's launching nukes at the Vandenberg Air Force Base. So you go there, you have to defend the silo. There are a lot of guys running at you from a tunnel. That was really cool. And then you redirect the missiles into Area 51. And then Area 51 has been hit, and that is the last level. Area 51. It's super dark. All of these missions have been super dark. Once you go through the bunker, which there's not too much on the surface before you get like down under, there's this huge elevator shaft, right? And once you reach the bottom, you can go on this ladder to go up. It's a lot of long hallways, swimming, and you get to a dead body that has a scramble grenade and a laser mod. Don't fucking do that. Do not go up that ladder. Just keep going with the rest of the mission. It's not worth it to explore that for a fucking scramble grenade and laser sight. Who gives a shit? Everett warns us about Tong. Everett wants to rule the world with JC and will be like the Illuminati again. We won't be like Bob Page and M112 with troops and like direct control, but we're just going to influence things. We're going to guide humanity from behind the scenes. Tong wants to destroy Area 51. And we're just going through these different sections of Area 51 in the lower bunkers to reach Bob Page. Paul, who has been absent from the rest of the game until this point, speaks to us from a hologram and he says, "Do what we think is right. I have not seen him since Hong Kong. He has not spoken to me since Hong Kong. I don't think any of the characters have mentioned Paul until now. I legitimately thought that Paul was going to show up and be like the boss enemy for us to kill in this level, like he had been corrupted or hacked or something, and Bob Page was using them against us as this weapon. That doesn't happen, but it's just like Paul was just gone and now he's here. Okay. Yeah, and this is the level where I figured out that I have a grenade launcher on my assault rifle. That was cool. I kind of wish I had discovered that earlier, huh? That would have been nice. How would I feel if I didn't eat breakfast this morning? But I did eat breakfast this morning. So I don't understand the question. But Tong wants us to destroy global communication. We'll go back to an age of city-states. It sounds good. I'll play that audio now.
Decades ago, the UN made Area 51 the central hub for all electronics communications. The Aquinas Protocol, originally for surveillance, has given Page unlimited abilities to censor and control all forms of media.
If we destroy the Aquinas hub, we'll take down the global network.
Exactly. They dug their own grave, JC. We're going to eliminate global communications altogether.
I don't know. Sounds like overkill.
As long as technology has a global reach, someone will have the world in the palm of his hand. If not Bob Page, then Everett, Dowd.
Another Stone Age would hardly be an improvement.
Not so drastic. A dark age, an age of city-states, craftsmen, government on a scale comprehensible to its citizens.
I'll think about it.
Oh, there's a fuck ton of AUG upgrade canisters on this level. I guess they want us to be prepared for like a boss fight, but still, I wish there was more in the earlier levels. I will say, once you get a lot of your AUGs upgraded, like ballistic protection, health regen, the one that makes you use less biogel when it's activated, the one that makes you like take no fall damage, the one that blows up all like missiles and grenades before they hit you. When you have them all like activated at once, you're basically unkillable. So I can kind of understand pacing them out. It did feel like some of the AUGs were basically kind of useless, or they're like really, really good, or just don't even bother touching them. Aliens might be real. There are a lot of like gray aliens running around and they shoot you and deal like radiation damage. Helios talks to us. It wants to administer the entire world. It says it's better than organics doing it. I don't care. I don't trust machines. Paul calls us and says that Helios has taken over Hong Kong. Do what we think is right. Paige reveals that we were born in a lab. I kind of suspected this. And I had not played the intro, like cutscene, before I started playing Deus Ex, but I played the intro afterwards, and I think it kind of gives away that you were grown in a lab or something a little bit, because it has like you in a tube floating around while Walton Simmons is talking to Bob Page. So I think that spoils it a little bit, but I wasn't really like shocked by this. And there's a guy in a tube called Alex Denton. I think maybe he's just another clone or whatever, but they never talk about him in this game. Final room. Our final room has Bob Page in like this big ball. It's like this glass ball, and he's like about to merge with the Helios AI and become like a god being of the earth. He has a bunch of universal constructors here. He is making like infinite spiders. These were maybe my least favorite enemies. They're little metal spiders. They drain the fuck out of your biogel. Your bullets aren't very effective against them, so you need explosives. And if I knew that my assault rifle had a grenade launcher, they would not have been nearly as hard or a bitch earlier in the game. So I hate myself. Thank you. I hate myself. But if you just shut the door to the Universal Constructor, you block off spiders from coming in. You also do this with Greasels. And I don't think I mentioned them, but there are other little monsters called Karacans. If you get bit by these things, you're basically dead. They're really strong. Lock all these up, and Bob Page is just kind of taunting you as you go around the level. And if you get too close to like his little glass orb, he like shocks you and drains your biogel. So he's kind of a little fag. He does offer us Europe if we stop what we're doing. He says he will give us a whole continent and offers Europe. That's great. Honestly, I would have taken that deal personally. So we come down to our three main choices. We can work with Morgan Everett, join the Illuminati, and rule the world from behind the scenes. We can merge with Helios, because Helios makes the offer to merge with us to save all of humanity, and we would become like this AI God Emperor of the world. Or we can go with Tong's plan, which is to destroy the global network and everything, like knock out all communications everywhere. And this would bring government down to a level that people can conceive of, city-states, that type of thing. It would be not so much a dark age, but it would be a period of regression, but it would have a chance to start new and to build things better this time. There is no option to join Bob Page, and I think there could have been like a joke ending in there, but yeah, he would like betray you instantly, so I understand why there's not. But Bob Page is a sick bastard and also the protege of Morgan Everett, so that option feels a little bad, because if he is spawned from Morgan Everett, then Morgan Everett's probably not a great guy, right? So I didn't really like the Everett idea, because it would still be like just stacking the dominoes exactly like they were stacked before and just hoping for a different outcome, and that's not really going to happen. There's just going to be another Bob Page down the road, and with everything being so interconnected, it just feels like it's a lot easier to abuse. And that's what I picked the first time. It just sounded the most reasonable. So I pressed the 3 switches the first time. Nothing happened, as that one guy in the room pulled a gun on me and started shooting. So it didn't let me press the final button. I just reloaded right before it. And after I reloaded, I killed him immediately, then pressed the buttons, and then I was able to get the ending. Start again, live in villages. You get a little cutscene for each ending that you pick. And in Area 51, like the coolant, that really lagged me for some reason. I never really got lag in the game. I don't think so, but like here it was really bad with the coolant. There is no final boss fight. There is no boss fight with Bob Page or what I thought would be Paul Denton. So I thought this was okay. I guess maybe it would have been a little cliche, just like getting a gunfight with Bob Page and he's like this augmented half AI monster. It would have been kind of cliche, kind of dumb. I'm glad they didn't do that, but just with the amount of like upgrade canisters on this level, I thought they really wanted me to be prepared for a boss fight, because frankly, Area 51 was like really easy. I think probably it's because you just have like so many upgrades at this point. So yeah, it's just you're hard to kill. Illuminati ending. I think it has a quote from Paradise Lost at the end, and this is something I just saw recently, but it's called Satan presiding at the Infernal Council. And this is a engraving by John Martin, who did it to illustrate a new edition of Paradise Lost. It looks so fucking cool. Like, you have Satan, he's on this huge dark orb. And you have like this rotunda of like demons all around him, and like there are these burning halos. It looks fucking sick. But I've never read Paradise Lost. Maybe I should at some point. The Illuminati ending, that seemed the worst. Putting the people that led to this exact moment right back in charge, that feels really dumb to me. The Helios ending, I felt that the Helios ending was pretty bad. Of course, Redditors like this option. Just because you are like an AI that's supposed to be free of like malice and hate and corruption, and are just supposed to be like the best for humanity and create like a prosperous future. And it's supposed to merge with JC because it needs like a human to understand humanity and like help it make decisions and everything. But JC is not your typical human. He's a clone grown in a test tube, so I don't think he's the best one to like merge with an AI. And you don't know like how much he was like changed in that tube and all that. The thing with being like an immortal AI god ruler thing is that in the past, if you had like a bad king or a bad dictator or a bad president, it could eventually end. Like, a president could be voted out next term, a king could be assassinated or just die, be replaced, usurped, anything, and then you have a new king, an entirely different new government, right? There is no ousting of this god if they're bad. It's in total control from now until the end of time. This is really stupid. This is foolish. It says it wants to save all of humanity. How does it define humanity? Like, does it treat all life as good and equal? Like, one human is worth as much as the next human, even if that other human is a criminal and a rapist and like low IQ. Are Indians and Africans treated the same as like Europeans? Decide that there's only one race, the human race, so to remove racial and cultural differences, it's better for all of humanity to mix out because it doesn't care about these differences. It just values all humans as the same. There's no beauty to it. Would it just create like efficient communist blocks where we just live in these little apartments or pods and we just have feeding tubes and dopamine and we're just hooked up to porn 24/7? And technically, since everyone's getting so much dopamine every day, we're happy, right? This is prosperous to an AI. Everyone's being fed. No one's dying. There's no crime because we all live in like this virtual reality. Therefore, good. I mean, why not dispose of our bodies entirely so we're just code? And then if we're code, does it really matter, right? We really stop being human. You're really a different species at that point if you've like downloaded your consciousness into a computer and you don't have a body anymore. I think it's just kind of insane. It puts humanity on this path to where, of course, we can't be human anymore. And we're just trusting everything to this being that maybe just values efficiency. Like maybe it decides that things like the Amish just shouldn't exist. Like, the Amish exist because we have like a benevolent country. Like, I don't love the United States government. I don't love the federal government, anything like that. But like, Amish people, they're farmers. They like their Bible. They just stay the fuck away from everyone else and mind their own business, right? That's what the Amish do. And they can exist because our government just doesn't mess with them, right? But like in a lot worse countries, you could have people just like attack them, rob them, whatever, right? Just harass them. In like whatever world order that this AI creates, would something like the Amish exist? Because they're not efficient, right? Could they be more efficient if we just had industrial farming? There are just so many questions about this AI, and everyone just went, and like, you have Redditors that are just like, it's the only like new path for humanity. I'm like, that's retarded. That's really retarded, and you're putting all your faith in this thing? No, like, you have to take the option that does the best for your people. Tong, he made a lot of good points. Just technology can go too far. Going back to like city states and like a local government where things can make sense. Like if you have a one world government and it's a democracy, everyone can vote. You have one vote out of billions. So you don't have a vote, you have one out of billions. Another thing, what if this system decides that, you know what the perfect amount of humans on Earth is? It's like 1 billion humans, and I'm going to kill enough humans so that there's only 1 billion left. How does it decide who lives and who dies? It's just there's not nearly enough control. It's not like something you could assassinate potentially. What if humans at one point decide that they don't want AI rule anymore? Would the AI and JC put them down and kill them and like prevent all dissent and just have absolute control over media and everything? That doesn't seem benevolent to me. But with Tong, it's potentially just a reset. It's a way to get back in touch with your people. I understand libertarian shit would not work. Like you and like 10 people want to like live in a little commune or whatever, and there's no government, man. There are no laws, man. Like that's not going to work because there's going to be some group that's going to come in and attack you for resources or whatever, and you're going to have to like form a government really quick to repel them. So I understand libertarian stuff can't work, and that's extremely naive, but like tribes and kingdoms will emerge from this, and this will give people a chance to unite again. It will be like a system free from usury. So certain groups like the Illuminati cannot use banking to maintain control of the entire world and things like that. It gives people a chance to form tribes based on their people and to forge a path for their group. I view Tongs as like the most hopeful of the 3 endings. So that's what I went with. It would be a system free of usury, free of banking, global censorship. You have to go with that route. I think like that's definitely the route to pick. Still, like you could talk about the endings to this game. There's a lot to talk about. It was cool. It was fun. I think the Illuminati's like an obvious like kind of bad ending. Helios, I'm not sold on it at all just because like, oh, the AI is doing good with like traffic lights in Hong Kong. So who says it doesn't like compute and decide that, oh, it's the best to put people in pods, so everyone's going into a pod. No, you don't have a choice. I think people are like a little too quick just to trust something because it's AI or whatever. It's impartial, bro. No, it's not. Someone coded it. Really liked it. Yeah, the game is dated in some ways. Would say it's not really kind of a dissident game. There are little aspects I didn't like. Like I think at the nightclub, there's like these lesbians that are dancing. And then Nicolette, she and Chad, who is with the Silhouette like resistance group in Paris. I think they're a couple. Chad is black. She is not. But Nicolette has like Zyme and like crack in her fireplace. So she's not like a good woman. She's for the streets. So maybe that's not such a huge thing. I'm going to probably be playing Invisible War. That's going to be like the next video game review on this channel. There will be hopefully gameplay for it. Like hooray, like gameplay that matches the audio. So that'll be an improvement. And then after that, I want to do like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I think I heard that one was good. And that sounds kind of interesting. I played that a little bit, just like the intro. I just did like the personality test, and they told me that I was like the ugly vampire, like the Nosferatu, and I'm like, that's bullshit. So I'm going to re-roll that. I'm not going to be like the ugly vampire. It's like, if someone breaks in your house, would you kill them? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, okay, you're the ugly vampire. And I'm like, fuck you. I heard Invisible War is bad. Nonetheless, I'm going to play it, or at least try. And then like Vampire after that. I have some video game content on this channel. Like there's one for like Fire Emblem. I did one that was like kind of on the culture war recently. You can check that out. But mostly I do like kind of book reviews and media reviews. So if you're interested in like indie book reviews, you can check out my Troth videos. Oh, and something that I saw online was this Deus Ex Bible. It has like concept art, notes from some of the creators, just talking about the story and the world. It's really cool. I think this is a fantastic resource. You can check it out. It's really interesting. So I'll have a link to that below. And yeah, if you just like want to download the game on Steam and you can like just play it for 2 hours, if you just do the training to give yourself a feel for like the gameplay. That'll give you a pretty decent idea of what's in store. And then you have like some holograms at the end, and Jaime like gives you a little background on each of the holograms. It's really cool. That absolutely hooked me into the game. Oh, and there was this like kind of gay quote from the Bible. I will put that on screen now, but it's like this guy who worked on it, Harvey, and he's like crying that, oh no, a bunch of white guys got together and created this really great game that everyone loves. We should have had more women involved. Boo-hoo. I'm fucking crying about it. What a pussy. This guy Harvey, he's kind of a pussy, but yeah, nonetheless, the Bible was super interesting. Check that out. So that's going to be it from me. Thank you for watching. White Pill Media out.